my audience, my two sisters. Now, Lamar was a brilliant student that was known for excelling in all of his classes, and he suffered the consequences of going into online. His report card was once filled with A's, and now the only thing that can be found is F's. So, school came into the last in the list of his priorities. Just like Kurt Lewis said, learning is more effective when it is active rather than a passive process. As everyone knows, the world has been hit with a virus which has restricted many of things, since the guidelines created to fight the virus have completely changed how we study, we do our projects, and how we interact socially. So, as college students, we ought to know the consequences of not attending face-to-face courses, which has led us to not do things in the present and which can later have a domino effect and cause problems in the near future. So, I myself am a student whose study habits have changed drastically because of this pandemic. I've also watched friends and my siblings struggle with this online classes, all their topics, and they don't receive the same teachings that which has helped them learn the subject thoroughly. I've researched this topic since I'm in pursuit of another degree, and I have studied this topic by reading and listening to articles, journals, and personal experience, and among others. In-person classes are better because one can get instant feedback. In online courses, you have to wait for them. Also, in online courses, you have to have self-motivation and discipline to stay on task. And in-person classes provide a better opportunity for group activities. That apparent online classes is just causing a generation of procrastination, a generation of unsociable skills such as like public speaking or other communication skills, and does not motivate the students to grow into professionals. Since this is a recent issue, we still have time to come up with a solution. That is why I propose that the school boards allow all the students to go back to campus with the guidelines that the health officials have provided with us. So, now that I've have introduced the topic, let's begin looking deeper into the problem of and disadvantage of online classes. Online classes cause students to procrastinate. It also deprives them from socializing, which can lead to emotional problems, and that is a big problem. The University of Dayton conducted a research in order to analyze the different performance that students attending face-to-face or online classes have concerning grades, exam scores, attitudes, and efficiency. The study compared two different classes, one face-to-face and one online class. So the study found that there were no highlighted differences in the two classes taking their course personally. But it did find that the students in the online courses had the score lower than the other two classes in their exams due to procrastination. Online classes tend to have an open schedule, meaning that they don't have a strict time to complete the assignments. Just like this class that I'm taking right now is online, the professor just leaves the assignments open, and then one has to do them according to the time. But sometimes we all procrastinate, so we tend to do things at the last minute. Now, according to Carolyn Jones, a reporter that has worked with the San Francisco Chronicle, Oakland Tribune, and Hayward Daily, review many schools and psychologists and counselors have often received emails concerning people that are taking online classes that they've been struggling. So students were surveyed on their access to school resources and found that 22% are facing mental health issues such as depression and anxiety because of not socializing and the incarceration of these online courses. Now, even though online classes are really popular nowadays, they give into procrastination, which is a serious problem that needs to be addressed. Since this is a primary reason that why many students do not do well in their projects, homework, and exams, you may be wondering what this has to do with you. And my answer to you is everything. This year, something as microscopic as a virus has changed our lives and the way we operate. The way we learn, and we are forced to take our classes online. Although many schools have permitted their scholars to partially come back, like people who are in STEM classes, the ones who go to labs, the ones that want to become nurses, they still have to go. But us, like me right now, I have to stay home and do classes online. So according to Anya Kamenetz, an education correspondent for the NPR, between 40 and 60% of students have been enrolled in districts that offer only remote learning, which has led them to lose their connection to school. So their motivation to study is lost, and many students don't have the resources or the technology to do these. So therefore, the professors don't have an estimate of how many students are still disconnected, how many students are getting their stuff done, and sometimes they just get dropped because of that. And according to the U.S. Department of Education, many states in the United States have already turned their majority of classes from face-to-face to online learning. To be exact, 48 of the states, including Washington, according to Bakia. Social interaction is key for an individual to grow, and learning online classes only allow students to communicate to their fellow classmates digitally, which does not really give the complete experience of sharing knowledge, ideas, and information. So, after all this information, do you still believe online classes are more productive than in-person classes, or that they do not affect its attendees? So at this moment, it should be clear that online classes have their issues. But just like every problem, this has a solution, which is to return to the campuses following the regulations and our guidelines provided by our government. So in-person learning has been proven to be more beneficial to students, and they're allow the scholars to excel in their projects and exams. In-person classes have a wide variety of advantages, such as teachers noticing the troubled looks on their face, the body language that they have with their students. Sometimes they have like a troubled face and they don't know. They're like, oh, what do I do? And then these teachers are like, okay, let me go help you. So, and these, you don't get that feeling or that interaction that you have in the Zoom classes that when you're at home. So according to Gaeta, being in school gives students a chance to build meaningful relationships with people instead of staring at screens over Zoom. This also includes not acquiring communication skills to apply in society, which we are in great need right now. So online classes have been proven to lack components that in-person classes count with, such as social interactions and communication skills. Research has shown that online classes can cause mental health problems to the, like I said earlier, the incarceration that you have. Some people are very afraid of the virus right now, and they do not get out of home. And the only option they had before that was to go to school. So in order to change the obligatory online classes for the majority of the students, one needs to simply follow the guidelines and regulations created by our health officials and government people. So, just like Emma Watson just said, I'm not going to school just for the academics. I wanted to share ideas to be around people who are passionate about learning. And that's what basically in-person classes do. It creates a friendship, like family, where you can socialize, you can practice your public speaking skills, your just any sort of communication skills. So now we have learned that online classes can affect one's performance in school, and that it can also lead to individual to experience anxiety and depression at home. They could also, I forgot to mention that they could also suffer from abuse from the parents, and that their only escape was going to school. Now, if you want to change this lifestyle, whether it's for you or your family member or an acquaintance, or a friend or anybody, you should just speak up and start writing emails to the corresponding school board officials addressing this problem and suggesting the return of the students' campuses following the health regulations implemented by our government. If everything else is open, why not going back to school should be open? Thank you.